What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. It's Thursday, July 16. July 16, 2026, and we are here at Kaagbaan, primary runway for arrivals. We've got a couple of 747s underway. The Orange Pride is underway. The A380 is underway. So it promises to become a very interesting show. Hope you guys are all doing well. The wind is still blowing from the north, mostly north to northeast. It's 21 degrees Celsius, just above 70 F, 9 knots of wind, and it's a bit cloudy over here. The northern half of the country has cloudiness, the southern half is more blue. I'll show you in a minute. The first 747 of the show is already in Dutch airspace. You can already see it over here. Cargolux should be landing here pretty soon. Cargolux arriving from Nairobi in Kenya. ETA 10 o'clock. Here another one, 10:46. Its estimated time of arrival, Atlas Air. Zooming out a little bit, we can see the KLM Orange Pride over here. It is expected around 12:20. Another Cargolux 747 is underway from Miami. 12:38, its current ETA. From the southeast, we have the A380 expected shortly after 1, so that's possibly a candidate for the Aalsmeerbound 36 right. And behind it is Compass Cargo, flying on behalf of Emirates Sky Cargo. Should be arriving here on the same runway as the A380, around 1:30. So Cargolux already in Dutch airspace. And Delta Airlines Flight 56 up next. First wide body of the show, arriving here from Salt Lake City, A330neo. And behind it KLM Flight 736, a 777-300 arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. A very good morning to all who joined. Marja, goedenavond. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Yuri, goedemorgen. Maxime, goedemorgen. Marcel, goedemorgen. Han, goedemorgen. Wombat Parade, goedemorgen. Klaas, goedemorgen kerel. And again, happy birthday. Who would have thought that the Cure Boy would have gone to the Cure? This morning, early in the morning, I saw that Jan and Michael were already there. Morning guys, hope you guys are still with us. GR3, good morning. Blackbirds, good morning. Monzi, good morning. Michael DCA, good morning. Hans Zwanenburg, goedemorgen. Thijs, goedemorgen. Hans, Frans, goedemorgen. Ronnie, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, everybody. Quite a few airplanes over there. What was interesting this morning, I'm trying to see if I can still find them, or maybe, no, they're still there. They were here right before me this morning as I arrived here and started setting up. Swans, and 6 young swans. Although the parents were looking at me, they left me alone. I also did not pay too much attention to them so that they wouldn't come after me. They were here right in the water where the coot is, nibbling on stuff that is growing in the water. They slowly but surely swam into the side canal, but they're still there. Quite lovely to see. KLM Flight 736. Returning from Willemstad, Curaçao. 777-300. Hey Jan, good to see you, mate. All the best to Simi. Haven't seen her in the chat in a while. Hope she's doing all right. And Michael is also still there. Perfect, perfect. Davy, goedemorgen. Peter, goedemorgen. Ramon, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, everybody. Jessica, goedemorgen. Jij ook een fijne dag. You too. Have a nice day. Got a banana over there. Got Suparna over there. That arrived here as I was also arriving here. The MPS is still there. Don't think it has moved since I visited this location. When was it? Sunday, I think. Doesn't seem to have moved. It's pretty active in the waters over here already. Coots. And a coot over here as well. Also on land. On the other side here. Right at the corner of the two canals. But yeah, swans. I think it's the first time I saw them here. I do hope that they're going to be careful and stay in the water, stay clear of all the glide slope areas. 6 young ones, still a bit grayish. Absolutely lovely. Yeah, like the old KLM commercial indeed, Peter. KLM used to advertise with swans landing and whatnot. You may have seen similar movies, similar clips on YouTube or Instagram. It's a popular meme / theme, whatever you want to call it. This is SAS flight 1553 arriving from Stockholm, A320neo. It has a bit of a whitish nose. Simi is out running, very good. And I figured so much is that you guys are both busy. Hope you guys are still both doing well. Don't get too stressed out. What's the temperature in Prague right now? It's probably a bit warmer than it is over here. It's relatively cool right now. That's because the sun right here isn't shining. The sun is there, but to the south it's more open, and to the north I think if I recall correctly, I saw a bit of rain even for the northeasterly most provinces of the Netherlands this morning. Quite a few wide bodies are arriving. Next up is Etihad. Etihad arriving from Abu Dhabi with an A321neo, and I think this is a premiere, seeing it actually coming to the runway we're filming next to. So we'll get a good chance to see this up close. Richard, goedemorgen. And Klaas, mate, what are you doing? Klaas Reiners just now went ahead. He gifted 10 memberships. You really didn't have to do that, mate. If anything, we should be gifting you as the birthday boy a couple of days back. Klaas, thank you so much for your generosity. A warm welcome to the 10 new members who just received a gifted membership from Klaas Reinders. Don't forget to say thank you to him, or dankeschön, or dankjewel. He understands multiple languages. Use a custom emoji as a way to say thanks to the gifter of a if you are the recipient of a gifted membership. Hope everybody who received a gifted membership will have fun using the custom emojis now at their disposal. Klaus, again, thank you so much for your generosity. And once again, happy birthday, mate. I love the livery of Etihad. And I have to say, it looks good on the A321. At least that's my humble opinion. I wonder if there's an airplane type that this livery doesn't look good on, come to think of it. It's probably one of those liveries that looks good on all airplane types that you put it on. Just like how there probably isn't going to be an ITA airplane or airplane type that wouldn't look good with an ITA livery on it. Also, a massive congratulations to Yuri Freke, who is a member now for 14 months. Congratulations and thank you so much for your long-lasting support, mate. Yuri writes, it's a nice day for plane spotting. It definitely is. I have to say, I put on sunscreen, but it looks, the way things are looking right now, it doesn't look to be necessary. Then again, UV radiation does also go through clouds, so it is probably good, and you never know what's going to happen next. But the temperature is nice, the wind is moderate, it's not exceedingly warm. I don't think it's going. I think it should be cooling down here in the upcoming days in the Netherlands too, more towards the 20 degrees that we are currently having, but then as the day is high. Perfect weather, perfect temperature to be outdoors doing stuff. Like running, which is why Simi is doing it right now in Prague, where it's also around 21 degrees. Hey, Gary Creep is also here. Good morning, Gary. Yep, time to dive under. I was just about to say, shouldn't you be diving under, mate? Don't mind if I do, he thought. So predictable. So predictable. A very good morning to all who joined in the meantime. Hope you're doing well. Bastiaan, goedemorgen. Mr. GL, good morning. Becker Flag, good morning. Vinny, goedemorgen. Jeffrey, goedemorgen. John, good morning. Or good evening to you, perhaps. What time is it over there? Probably the beginning of the evening? Late afternoon? Late afternoon, most likely, isn't it? Cargalux on the downwind leg to the Kaagbaan. I've spotted it. Or at least I think it is. Yeah, that's it, alright. First queen of the show on its downwind leg, coming to runway 06, which is still primary runway. We haven't had a change in winds for quite a while now, which also means that runway use has been pretty stable. That is going to change in upcoming days, though. I think the wind is going to turn southwesterly again. Which would mean that current runway use will be reversed. 8 o'clock in the evening in New Zealand, so it's probably end of afternoon, beginning of evening on the east coast of Australia, right? Leveled, good morning. Bobbers, good morning. Inimini, goedemorgen. Pete, what up, mate? Jasper, goedemorgen. Van number 4. Not Mambo number 5. But VW van number 4. Well. Not sure if everybody is old enough to remember Mambo number 5, but I was in my late teens in the late 90s, so that was what was playing when I went out in the weekends. Air Canada Flight 900 is up next, arriving from Montreal, Canada, 7878 Dreamliner. Behind it ought to be Saudia with an A330, arriving from Jeddah. Is that the old livery or the new one? That's the new one by the looks of it, with the nice stripes. Such a big improvement, that livery. Behind that, a Dreamliner from United, arriving from San Francisco, and probably the 747 will be next after that. Hey Sander, goedemorgen kerel. What is up, mate? Hope all is well. Michael says, good to see no one hanging outside at Ryanair. I wonder what happened that caused the window to burst. Is it regular wear? Could it happen to any 737? Was it lacking maintenance? Was it something else? Could it happen to anybody else in just any 737? Or very curious to hear what happened. Insofar as they're able to find the cause, of course, because that's not a given. Oh, the engine exploded. You're right. Now that you guys mention it, I did remember reading that or hearing about that too. Yeah. So yeah. Well, in that case, I wonder what happened that caused the engine to explode. Same questions still apply. Was it lacking maintenance? Was it regular wear? Did something fly in? What altitude did the accident happen on? Was it cruise altitude? Could it have been a bird? Does anybody know know what altitude the accident happened on, because that will tell you if it could have been a bird strike or maybe something else. $15K. Wow, good question. A good follow-up question then becomes: Do birds fly at 15,000 feet or not? I've got a feeling that some might do that. Interesting. United up next, and after that Kaagbaan. Now, normally speaking, airplanes preceding quads don't get much love here at AMS Live. The exception to the rule are wide bodies. Danny, goedemorgen. Good to see you again, mate. Tuning in from the harbor of Amsterdam. Is it that time again? Another vessel with kerosene? United Airlines 968 arriving from San Francisco. 7879 Dreamliner, 9 hours and 30 minutes underway. Brand new airplane, the Dreamliner on the right. First flight July 2025, so it's going to turn 1 next month. No, wait, it is July already. Okay. Crossing traffic. That does look to be very close to where the airplanes are also passing by. It sounds like geese. Well, oh, no. No. Don't you guys dare. Come on. All right. Swans do fly around 11 to 12,000 feet altitude, and Jan even says that some geese will fly at flight level 290. So, well, if it was a bird strike that caused the engine to malfunction, we'll probably learn soon enough, because that's probably going to leave some clear traces in the engine. And there are vultures reported over 35,000 feet high. Yeah, but those probably live in the Alps, don't they? Did it happen? It didn't happen in the Alps, did it? Or in mountainous terrain? Alright, anyway. Kaagbaan, first queen of the show, ladies and gentlemen. Number 9 on Flight Radar, tracked by 427 people. Operated by Kaagbaan Italia. 8 hours, 20 minutes on the way. Nairobi, of course, the capital of Kenya, which is a country in Africa. I'm using the keyboard of my laptop. Just remembered that I forgot to test if the stream deck works again or not. Oh, kilometers. Anyway, this is the Lima X-Ray W Charlie Whiskey Charlie Victor. 18 years old, first flight July 2007. Let's look and listen. Mark, good morning, mate. Welcome back, mate. Those Rolls-Royce engines do whistle lovely. Lovelyly. Nicely, don't they? Hey, Vietnam Airlines over Almere now, says Maxime. Inbound, is it? Last time we were here, we saw Thai up close. Are we going to get Vietnam Airlines today? That would be terrific. Let me zoom out a little. Oh yeah. Vietnam Airlines A350. Gorgeous looking blue A350 on its way this way. I think we'll be able to spot it pretty soon, because the clouds that we do see aren't that low. Screaming Comanche. In the meantime, 2 membership anniversaries being celebrated by Danny Brink, who celebrates 11 months of membership, his last month of having a yellow badge before turning green. And Jan, aka Reticent Guy, is celebrating 33 months. That's 3 more months, a blue badge before another sunset or gradient or orange pride or whatever you guys want to call it. New 3-year badge for him. Do not forget to hit like and subscribe. Thanks, Jan. Also recommends you guys to do. Thanks for the reminder there, Jan. And congratulations to both you and Danny for your long-lasting support. I hope both of you are still satisfied with being a member, and that everything in the lounge is still to your satisfaction. If not, let me know what you feel needs to be improved, and I'll see what I can do to make it better. Cargo Lux, long distance headshot with Swannies. Swannies in the foreground. Those are so cute. Chris Good also says good morning to everybody. Gertin, goedemorgen. Uncle Plane Guy, good morning. Martin, goedemorgen. Aircopter, goedemorgen, good morning. Let's see, that A350. I think I've got it. I think the Vietnam A350 is flying right there. That certainly looks like a Vietnam Airlines A350, doesn't it? Shudder by the wind and long focal length. That is coming this way. Cargo ducks. Where's the badumch? Let's see. Do I probably have a shortcut on in my software for that too? Badumch. That's the J, the Juliet. The J for joke. That was it. Yeah. So the T is Africa. T for Todo. And Ecuador was the minus. In other words, the equatorial line. Yeah, I've thought about which keyboard shortcuts I should assign certain sound effects to remember them better before getting the Stream Deck. Here's the Vietnam A350. Downwind. Crane in the foreground. Let's turn back to the glide slope of the Kaagbaan because KLM Flight 598 is approaching. That's a 777-300 ER, which is arriving from Cape Town in South Africa. Peter asks how the cat is doing. Still better than before, than on in the morning of Monday, not last Monday, but the week before. But since Friday, he is using oral medication instead of getting injections, and both Lisa and I do feel like it may either be he either may be getting used to the dosage, or maybe the oral dose is lower than what he got per injection, because You do see a change in behavior, getting a bit slower, although his appetite is still good, sometimes looking a bit disoriented, but that's also something he had before, so it's well, me and Lisa both think either he's getting used to what he's getting, or maybe the dosage has changed. Either way, I've made an appointment tomorrow afternoon with the vet, because I was supposed to come back at the end of the last week. So I'm going tomorrow, mid-afternoon, late afternoon. I'll discuss it with the vet to see if this is normal, if there's something we can do, maybe up the dosage. Not sure. He is still doing better than he was before 2 weeks ago. But yeah, you know, it's just you know that the inevitable is going to happen sometime. Croatia Airlines A319 up next. Delta Airlines flight 74 arrived from Atlanta, Georgia next after that, and it looks like the A350 will be next after that. It's now flying base just east of Leiden. Yassine, goedemorgen. Radio Red October, tuning in from Finland, good morning. Hey, dankjewel Yassine, thank you so much. He writes in Dutch, all the best for your cat. Hey, BizJet is on final to 36 right, looking on flight radar. Wonder if it's going to make a landing or a breakaway to 04. Might do the latter. First up, Croatia Airlines flight 450, arrival from Zagreb. A319, 1 hour 41 minutes on the way. 26 years old, first flight June 2000. A few months prior to 9/11. Well, a year and a bit, I should say. If you phrase it like that, this airplane is pretty old already. I always try to match dates to events or things. That makes it a bit easier to get the perspective of time. Because it sounds a little abstract sometimes when something took place or when an airplane began flying in a certain year. You think about what happened then that you maybe remember for one reason or another more vividly. AlioJet is arriving from Noordholt, wherever that may be. And Phenom 300, brand new. This airplane began its career in March this year. Just a few months old still. What a difference, eh? Exhaust gases or no? Not. Alright, Delta Airlines Flight 74, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, A330-300. Let's look and listen. Mart, goedemorgen. Lucas, goedemorgen. Adrie, goedemorgen. Welcome to the show, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Happy Thursday. You're still watching AMS Live. My name is Boy, and next up we are going to get a channel premiere for us. Vietnam Airlines Flight 83, arriving from Hanoi. That's an A350, 10 hours and 43 minutes underway. England. Thank you, Yassine. This is the Victor November Alpha 886, an A350-900, 11 years old already. First flight June 2015. No reversers by the sound of it. It's a pity that the sun isn't shining on the livery to make it pop even more. Absolutely lovely machine. It would have looked even better had the sun shined. Yeah. Shone. Had the sun shone. They've got the grass in the field over there, and the tractor is sorting it, getting it together, rotating discs with spikes or something on them. Helps to arrange the cut grass. So this is straw, isn't it? Or is it hay? Hay is feed, straw is for the feet. Not sure if this was regular grass or something else. So they're either making this field is either yielding hay or straw, one of the two. Plenty of birds still in the field. And plenty of birds in the sky as well. Next will be KLM flight 1352, arriving from Prague in the Czech Republic. Embraer 175. It's hay? Well, there you go. Hay it is. Hey you! The engines are running. Flap set. Time for some action. BA up next, BA flight 430, arriving from London Heathrow, A321neo, and behind it is going to be KLM flight 644, which is a 787-10 returning from New York. Ah, Stroken van Tarwe. Alright, let's begin. Let's bring it on. Start the show. John Logan is also back. Good to see you, mate. Good evening. Good early evening to you. John Logan is celebrating 10 months of membership. Good morning, boy, and all AMS mods and viewers. Good morning to you too, buddy. Hope all is well. Hope you've had a good day. And congratulations and thanks for your 10 months of support as a member. I hope it's still to your satisfaction. If you have suggestions for improvements, do let me know. Congratulations and thank you, John Logan. 10 months and counting. 2 more months of having a yellow badge before it will turn green. Hey, it is the KLM 100 years. Keeping the shot a little wider. Alright, well, tractor driver Still contemplating life, seemingly. Mart is asking about the runway. This is the Kaagbaan, runway 06, in fact, used for arrivals to the northeast from the southwest. Next arrivals are going to be narrow-bodied, although a wide-body triple, I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, there is a cargo triple coming this way. Flying downwind, China Southern. Well, as they call it in the World Championship, hydration break. Bottoms up. Still waiting for the tractor driver to begin collecting straw again. I'm pretty sure that if those things were to speed up and spin at a higher RPM, you'll get a sound that's similar to a propeller airplane. It's already, in a way, sounding like one. 78710 turning downwind off the coast, I think. Come on, I did see it somewhere just now. Yeah, there it is. That's KLM flight 741 arriving from Cartagena in Colombia. Tractor is continuing. Let's have a look at how he does his thing. Tractor copter. Indeed. Hey Paul, good morning mate. Welcome back buddy, hope you've been well. Well, the tractor driver is taking his time to collect all the hay. While this is all going down, let's have a quick look in the screen of Flight Radar to see where the next 747 is at. The next 747 is over the Gulf of Yorkshire, should be here in 20 minutes or so. The Orange Pride still on its way, ETA 1222, another Cargolux over here, over the ocean still, should be arriving here around 1240. We have the Emirates A380 in the vicinity of Athens, ETA not showing. Okay, well, and Flight Radar is hicking up. That's cool. We'll see these two soon enough. ETA for the A380 earlier was shortly after 1. ETA of the Compass Cargo flying on behalf of Emirates Guard Cargo, the 747 arriving from Dubai behind it, was expected around 1:30 earlier in the show. All's well on my end as well, Paul. Thank you for asking. Good morning, Malky. Good morning, Mehmet. And thank you so much for gifting a membership just now. It is Leo who is the recipient. Welcome back, Leo. I'm pretty sure I think you were a member before once. Welcome back, mate. Don't forget to say thank you to Mehmet and enjoy the custom emojis you now once again have at your disposal for a month. Mehmet, thank you so much for gifting a membership to Leo. Got a couple of airplanes on the glide slope. 3 of them if you look closely. There's a Twinkle behind the Big Bird. The Big Bird is number 2 and the Twinkle is from a Transavia 737. Over here we have KLM flight 1772 arriving from Berlin. That's a Boeing 737-800 with a camera cabin in the back. Okay, Malta, SAS, more KLM. Departure. Let's say triple. Pretty much going this way? Well, no. Well, almost. In a way. So there is a dichotomy in the sky over here once again, with the northern half of the country being more cloudy and the southern half being more sunny. And here in the vicinity of Schiphol, we're right on the edge between the two weather types. Means that the temperature over here is moderate. The sunshine intensity is also very moderate. The wind is, well, I feel it's picking up a little. Probably in the double digits right now. Klaas has to go. Thanks for stopping by, mate. Hopefully see you again later. If not today, then later in the upcoming days. China Southern Cargo. The flaps do look reasonably clean, particularly considering it is a Chinese triple. Right from Chongqing in China, 9 hours and 45 minutes this flight has lasted. 777 freighter, 1 year old, first flight December 2024, the Bravo 226 Delta. Using its reverses as well. Absolutely lovely. Hey Bas, goedemorgen. Good to see you again, mate. Mehmet, thank you so much. Mehmet just now gifting a membership once more. The recipient is Beverly Mitchell. Congratulations, Beverly. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Have fun using the custom emojis now at your disposal for a month. Don't forget to say thank you to Mehmet. Mehmet, thank you so much, mate. Another gifted membership by Mehmet just now. Police helicopter returning to base. Alpha Aviation, good morning. Welcome to the show, everybody else who may have joined in the meantime. As Police Airwolf is returning to base, here on its right, Transavia flight 5624 is approaching the glide slope of runway 06. That's arriving from Palma de Mallorca. Chinese triple is doing a long distance headshot, or at least preparing for it. Still the spoilers up, as you can see. Oh no, it's the ruzzers. How to say you're British without saying you're British? It's the ruzzers. Sorry, Jeffrey, who now has the Airwolf theme song stuck in his head. Sorry, not sorry, mate. The 787-10 arriving from Cartagena in Colombia is approaching, so I'm going to turn back. Let's film it. Here it is. KLM flight 746. 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from Cartagena in Colombia, which is right next to Ecuador! Hey Hans, goedemorgen, good to see you again mate. Anthony, good morning. Anthony is tuning in from Birmingham. You have a great day too, buddy. Grumpy looking Chinese freighter. And it's back to the narrow bodies for the time being. It is 10:34. I'm not sure if the secondary runway is going to open up at 10:40 or if it's going to happen at 11. Pretty soon we are going to get converging arrivals again, either for 40 minutes or for an hour. Right now everything from the east is still going to runway 24, or is Tarom going to be the first? It does look a little like Tarom might be the first arrival to 36 right. Looking at its trajectory compared with what El Al flew. Hey, and the swans are right at the gate of the canal. They were here right on the near edge of the canal this morning as I was setting up, but they slowly swam further and further away. Hear the whistle, it's an E2 Embraer passing by. E2 Embraer 195, KLM flight 1930, that was arriving from Geneva. The tractor is also back. You may pick the audio up on the ambient microphone. There it is, going again. Crony. The tractor and his crony. That's no baloney. Or phony. Pretty dusty though, although the wind also doesn't help. Luckily the field is placed further to the east and it's not blowing this way. Don't think I've brought a dust mask with me or anything. Right, it's narrow bodies for the time being. Air Arabia Morocco flight 127. Arriving from Tangier. 2 hours 27 minutes on the way. Obviously, Tangier in Morocco, which is in the north of Africa. Another Air Arabia is now on final for the Kaagbaan number 2, arriving from Naudor. In other words, there is an airplane sandwiched in between two Air Arabias, and that's KLM flight 1268, arriving from Copenhagen, which is right there. There's the second Air Arabia Morocco, and over there the twinkling lights of El Al flight 337. No, I think that's El Al, and this is probably still further away. Transavia arriving from Olbia. And Tarom is indeed the first airplane going to runway 36 right. Converging arrivals commencing. This is Air Arabia Morocco flight 121, arriving from Nador, which is of course also in Morocco in the north of Africa. DB Baseman is also back in the chat. Good to see you again, mate. Jannes is back as well. Good morning, Jannes. Hope all is well, mate. Welcome back. 3 airplanes on the glide slope. Air Arabia Morocco, El Al, Transavia. And Tarom is approaching. First arrival means that we're probably going to get an hour of converging arrivals from 10:40 until approximately 11:40. There was a second queen in the Netherlands already, wasn't there? That's going to do. Oh no, it's approaching from the west. Phew! For a moment I was thinking, wasn't there another 747? That's the only, it's only the Compass cargo after the A380 that is arriving from the east. That's going to be going to the wrong runway. The rest of the arrivals should be landing here. I haven't tested the Stream Deck yet, Buzz, but I still have access to the keyboard of my laptop, to which before getting the Stream Deck I already assigned shortcuts, so just going back and forth a little whenever I want to engage sound effects. Atlas is approaching the coastline. Atlas Air Flight 5528, right from Miami. Over there we have Transavia arriving from Olbia, and over here we have El Al arriving from Tel Aviv. El Al flight 337, A737-800. No carrying cabin and no guns or anything on the outside by the looks of it. If you think you're hearing Kuts, there are 2 right here. One on that side and one on the near side. Now he's making progress. Have a look. Collecting the straw, or at least rearranging it nicely in stacks, linear stacks, so that they can make bales out of it, or rolls, or whatever is the appropriate term for them. It's a way of collecting it. Ilko is also back in the chat. He is celebrating 20 months of membership. He writes, good morning all. Good morning, Ilko. Good to have you back, mate. Congratulations on 20 months of membership. I hope that the membership is still to your satisfaction. If that shouldn't be the case, then do speak up and let me know, mate. Hope you're going to stick around for a long time to come. If not as a member, then at least as a regular recurring visitor. Ilko V9700. I wonder what that is a reference to. Congratulations on 20 months of membership, and thank you so much for your long-lasting support, mate. Transavia arriving from Olbia. Oh, floaty. Floaty, floaty. And nice touchdown. For a moment I was thinking we were looking at an A330 landing. So buttery. Now unfortunately ETA today is looking to be going to the wrong runway, or at least one of the 2 airplanes is. ETA over there, flight 120 arriving from Milan. And that's an A320. Going to the wrong runway. Meanwhile, we're getting an EasyJet A319 arriving from Gatwick over here. I wonder if the second ETA is also going to go to the wrong runway, or if it maybe is coming this way. I wonder wonder if that building contains a data center or something. It does look a bit data center-y, doesn't it? Oh, short-lived window of opportunity to see the ETA. And after it has cleared these buildings, there should be one more last... Or no, this was the last bit of it, wasn't it? I think it was, yeah. So quickly already. Alright, this is an airplane preceding a Queen, so we're not going to pay much attention to it, and instead, there it is, focus on Queen number 2. There she is. Atlas Air, arriving from Miami, Florida. Flight 5528. Earth, good morning. Idaho, good morning. Frobisher, good morning. Tomorrow never knows, good morning. Atlas Air Flight 5528 arrived from Miami, Florida. 747-400, 8 hours and 31 minutes on the way. It is the November 453 Papa Alpha. Pa, which is Dutch for dad. As it happens, Papa Alpha. More geese over there, but also over there. Now luckily they've already cleared the glide slope. Should not be interfering with the airplane approaching. I'm looking at them, that they don't seem to be coming back. This is that's good. Don't want to see any bird strikes between a goose and the Queen, or any plane for that matter. Hey Grant, good evening. Brandon, good morning, mate. Perfect timing, guys. This is already the second Queen of the show. You may have missed the first one if you only tuned in just now, but there are more 747s on the way. The A380 is on the way. There's also the KLM Orange Pride underway. Orange Pride, and at least one more 747 should be landing here. One 747 and one A380 will probably be going to the wrong runway later today, but we should still be able to see them quite nicely from here. Last time we checked, the ETA of the Emirates A380 was shortly after 1, and there's a Compass Cargo flying on behalf of Emirates Sky Cargo, which should be arriving here around 1:30 local time. My plan is to stick around until that has landed, albeit at the wrong runway. And if I'm not mistaken, after this there should be another 747 arriving from Miami, Florida. This one is 24 years old, first flight August 2001, a month before 9/11. Let's look and listen, guys. Oh wow, A318 has an ETA of 118, says Maria. Hey, Indigo, Norsa, over there. Wind seems to be picking up a little bit. Makes me wonder what the wind is doing. We're waiting for the Queen to make a turn to the right, and a long distance headshot will form. That gives me a moment to update the ticker with respect to the METAR. Latest weather report is indicating 8 knots of wind, interestingly, as if the wind is slowing down, but standing here it doesn't seem to be the case. I'm pasting it in the ticker right now. Here it is. So according to the weather report of 8:25 Zulu time, that's 10:25 local time, the wind should be from 050 degrees, more or less headwind for the airplane's landing. 8 knots of wind. The wind direction is variable between 20 degrees and 100 degrees, so a bit of variation. Generally speaking, the wind is blowing between north and east. 9999 means 10 kilometers of visibility here at ground level. Few clouds at 1900 feet. Temperatures 22 degrees C. That's 75-ish, 74-ish. Dew point 16. And the air pressure is 1020 hectopascals. Long distance headshot of a queen and a couple of swans with 6 young ones. They were swimming here on this side of the canal this morning as I was setting up. Or as I was setting up, but then they swam away slowly but surely. Unfortunately for us, because they are absolutely gorgeous to see. The young ones are still grayish. BizJet on final to 36 right. That's arriving from Toulon. ASL Private Jet Services. Cessna Citation 7. PH Mix. That's Mike Yankee X-Ray. Hailing from the year 2000, month not specified, in other words, a 26-year-old machine. In the meantime, a very good morning to everybody who has joined. The second Dutch aviation guy, good morning. Mervyn, good morning. Martin, good morning. Charlie Brown, good morning. Now, Mehmet also went ahead and gifted another membership just now. Thank you so much for your generosity there, Mehmet. I see it is Grant who was the recipient of the membership. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, or should I say welcome back, Grant. Either way, hope you'll enjoy the current gifted membership and the custom emojis that come with them. You'll have access to them for a month. Enjoy them. And don't forget to say thanks to Mehmet if you haven't already. As a way to say thanks, use a custom emoji. Great way of supporting or saying thanks to gifters of memberships. Great suggestion by Captain Jerry. Mehmet, thank you once again, and Grant, welcome back or welcome to the Sky Lounge. Also, massive big thanks and congratulations to Brandon. Brandon is celebrating a year of membership. It's his anniversary, his 1-year anniversary, and he now has a green badge from now on. 1 year supporting you. I'm still happy we met. I am too, mate. It was very nice to meet you a couple of multiple weeks. When was it? Which month was it again? I'm afraid it was already a few months back, wasn't it? May or something? April, May? Absolutely lovely. Absolutely pleasure to have met you and your friend. And thank you so much for the support, mate. Hope everything in the lounge is still to your satisfaction. If that's not the case, do let me know what you feel needs to be improved. And let me see what I can do to improve life for you and the other members. The tractor is still going through the field, collecting the straw in nice linear heaps. WestJet is arriving on the glide slope of the Kaagbaan WestJet Flight 70, arriving from Halifax in Canada, MAX 8, 737. There it is, twinkling of lights is the twinkling of Transavia, Flight 5676, arriving from Party Island, Ibiza. That's an A321neo on the left. May 30, says Brandon, there you go. Almost 2 months already. Hoping for a positive feline medical report. Well, it's a sort of stable status quo there, Martin. Although both Lisa and I feel that since having switched to oral medication because of the upcoming weekend last week, ever since Saturday he's been using oral medication. Before he was getting an injection at the vet each day. We do feel like either the medication is wearing off a little, or maybe the dosage is lower in the oral medication than it was in the injections. He's slowing down a little bit at times. Sometimes it doesn't seem to be very oriented anymore, but that's something he also had before. He still walks stably, he still eats and drinks normally good, I would say. Although his pooping also was slowing down again. Had to give him an enema yesterday because he didn't poop on his own for 48 hours. I am going back to the vet tomorrow. We already agreed on another follow-up in the second half of the next week, last week. So I'll be going back to the vet tomorrow afternoon. I'll discuss it. See if there's maybe a difference in dosage between the injections and the oral medication. But for now, there is a stable status quo with a level of functioning that is better than it was before. Not last week Monday, but the Monday before. WestJet using the reversers there. And is that... Oh no, I thought for a moment there was a bird sitting on the contraption there, just left of the middle. Fingers crossed indeed, but of course everybody knows as sooner or later the inevitable is going to happen. It's just a matter of when is it going to happen, and will you be able to get to keep him comfortable all throughout. Converging arrivals are in progress. There are 2 narrow bodies coming in for both runways now. Transavia A321neo to Kaagbaan, and then KLM Embraer 190 to the Aalsmeerbaan. Royal Air Maroc is arriving next after the Transavia, which is a very nice looking airplane if you ask me. I like the Royal Air Maroc livery, both the old one and the new one. Although the new one does look a bit more colorful than the old one, obviously. And this is the Transavia livery that hasn't been updated yet. The updated iteration of this livery has a bit more green, both in the form of a thicker font, more bold, and more green on the engines and on the tail. The tractor is playing hide and seek, can you see? So, for those of you tuning in later, it is another one of those days where there are 2 Netherlandses with respect to the weather. The northern half of the Netherlands is cloudy, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the Dash 8 going out for a coastal patrol. Yep, it is the Coast Guard Dash 8 100. It's flying north of me, and the backdrop is cloudy, as you can see, grey. The southern half of the Netherlands has more blue skies and more sunshine. Now we can also hear it. That is the Dash 8 100 from the Coast Guard, Canadian registered. Hey Rally team, good morning. And welcome to the show, everybody else who may have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy, and I was in the process of showing you the north versus the south, and we are right on the edge of the 2 weather types here in the Amsterdam area. Looking at the glide slope to the southwest, you can also see it's more open, so it's not all doom and gloom. It's definitely not cold. There's a bit of wind, although I find it hard to believe that where the wind was, I think it was a bit higher earlier, and now it's slowed. It's supposedly slowed down to 8 knots. Doesn't feel like 8 knots of wind, a bit more. Mervyn says that in the UK now there's an east-west split between 2 weather types. There you go. It's always nice when you can see the 2 weather types, or if you can see an area of clouds drifting in, a massive line of grey, sharp edge. Every now and then you do get the chance to see it. Royal Air Maroc, true Royal Air Maroc few flights to and from Morocco. That's 2 Air Arabia Morocco's we already saw land here, and now Royal Air Morocco itself. Hey Joke, goedemorgen. SC Utrecht, goedemorgen. Big one coming in soon, absolutely. American Airlines Flight 220 arrived from Dallas Fort Worth, Texas to be precise. That's a 777-200. Here it is. Flight time for this American Airlines triple has been 8 hours and 54 minutes as we speak. 27 years old, its first flight was in the previous millennium, June 1999. There you go. This is the November 799 Alpha November. And it looks like we'll have a few minutes of nothingness before the next arrival will land. Betaal de hersencel. Paid for brain cell. What a name. Good morning, mate. Goedemorgen. What a nice name. American has landed. The tractor is still driving back and forth, collecting straw. Not strawberries, but straw. Converging arrivals are still in progress. Aegean is now on final 236 right. Aegean flight 3624 arriving from Athens. And on the Kaagbaan, where we are standing next to, we are going to see KLM flight 1030 in a few moments. Arriving from Manchester, that's an Embraer 175. And after that, we are going to get the A350 from World to Fly Corendon, which is the second A350 of the show, isn't it? Vietnam being the first. So for those of you joining us later, you may have missed the arrival of Vietnam Airlines A350 here on the Kaagbaan earlier this morning, and two 747s. Before the Embraer 175 gets really close by, why don't we have another look on Flightradar to see where the airplanes that are still coming are currently flying. Maybe also see if Flightradar once again gives us the labels. That was hicking up a little bit earlier. Here is Flightradar, and we are still in awaitancy of a couple of airplanes. Cargo Lux 747, arriving from Miami, Florida. Maybe renewing the page. Let's see if that works. Maybe, yeah, that does the trick. There you go. The classical, where's land? Oh, there it is. The classical, have you tried turning it off and on again? But with a browser. So Cargo Lux is arriving from Miami, should be arriving here around 12:40. The KLM Orange Pride should be here around 12:30. The Emirates A380 now has an ETA of 120, and the Compass Cargo 747 behind it is expected 20 minutes later, around 140. I strive to stick around. The Compass Air Cargo has landed, which should be around 140 local time. Here's the A350, gear extending. And here is KLM flight 1030 arriving from Chester. Let's quickly turn back. Corendon, World to Fly, flight 5990 is up next, arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. It is an A350-900, the second of the show, I think. 8 hours and 47 minutes on the way. Spanish registered ECNZF Echo Charlie November Zulu Foxtrot. It's a 3-year-old machine. Its first flight was in May 2023. Next after this A350 we're getting an EasyJet A320 returning from Newcastle, visible at the 8 o'clock. And the next airplane after that should be a KLM A330, which is flying base, approaching the glide slope from the west, in other words from the right. I'm not sure to what extent we can already see that, probably not yet. I don't think that the clouds ought to be in the way, they're probably a bit higher up. Maybe in the background a bit lower. Oh yeah, there it is. So the clouds were in the somewhat in the way after all. Only after it cleared a cloud over there did we see it. So that's the third airplane after the World to Fly Corendon A350. Here it is, the ECNZF. Royal Air Maroc, Air Arabia Maroc, it's all good. The tractor driver is still doing its thing over there. Doing his thing over there. The tractor is doing its thing. Up, up. Turning again. Oh, is he coming this way? Oh? Ah, no. Preparing another... further rearrangements. Right, well, we'll see how that is going to end up soon enough. Also, truck over here on the terrain of the rental company. If you need a bit of fence work, Luxem's your firm. They still have plenty. Here's the EasyJet arriving from Newcastle, A320, flight 27860. So if I recall correctly, with all the ETAs, we'll have a power hour of around 12:20 until 1:40, in which two 747s, one A380 and the KLM Orange Pride are going to make an appearance. Looking forward to that. Marcus, goedemorgen. Brian, good evening. Welcome to the show, everybody who joined later. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy, and we are here at Kaagbaan, runway 06, primary runway for arrivals. Converging arrivals in progress now for half an hour or so. So we're midway through the converging arrival phase. Around 11:40, the secondary runway, which is runway 36 right today, should close again for business until approximately 1 p.m. And then from 1 till 2, we'll have the same runway configuration as we do right now. KLM 696, arriving from Toronto. Really, such a gentle main gear touchdown. Boom, there's the nose gear down. A350 going to the gates. EasyJet A319 is up next over here on the Kaagbaan runway. Arriving from London Luton. Now, as I suspected, the second ETA of today's morning, at least, of this morning, is also going to runway 36 right. It's now on final. ETA flight 108. Earlier we already saw 120 arriving from Milan. This one is coming in from Rome. Bit of distortion with the building in the foreground distorting everything, and then clarity once again, albeit briefly. One last glimpse. See you later. Mervyn says, I recognize that bird. It's a crane. It certainly is a crane. Quite rare to see here in the vicinity of Schiphol. Is it dry in the northerly provinces? Because at times it does look a bit more grim looking to the north. Thought I saw a bit of drizzle in the northerly provinces on the weather radar this morning when I had a look. Hopefully it's dry now. Let's see. The next arrival here on the Kaagbaan is turning final over there. That's KLM flight 1042 arriving from Birmingham. Nice cloud against which the airplane is turning. Nice contrasty backdrop. Marianne, goedemorgen. Good to see you again. Welcome back. If you're new to the channel, don't be afraid to say hi in the chat. It isn't mandatory, but it is always appreciated when people tell us where they are from and who they are. If you have a question, feel free to ask. Don't be shy. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Quite a few people are watching it together. We know a lot, so we'll happily try to answer any questions you might be having. Little hydration break over here. Pierre, good morning. Wietse, goedemorgen. Little raindrops in Leeuwarden, he writes. And Jeffrey also confirming this morning it was raining in Groningen. Northerly provinces. A bit of rain over there. Jeppe Slijm, goedemorgen. Air 3980, good morning. In Rotterdam, it is sunny. I suspected as much. Should have gone to the port of Rotterdam instead. Nah. It's probably warmer there as well. I think they said that there was going to be a significant difference in temperature today between the north and the south. With the southeasterly most provinces, of course, being most land inward and most southerly being warmest. There the heat wave is still continuing with 30 degrees. Definitely not as warm over here. Let's see. German Buddhist, good morning. Henk, goedemorgen. Tuning in from windy IJmuiden. IJmuiden being a bit more to the northwest. And right next to the coast. So I'm not surprised to hear it's windy over there. Probably also a bit more windy than it is over here. And over here it is already pretty windy, I have to say. Which does make it nice and comfy to be out. If there were no wind blowing, it probably would have been a bit clammy. This is KLM flight 1042, arriving from Birmingham. And there is a BizJet on final to 36 right. BizJet on final to 36 right, or breaking away, which might also still happen. Break away to runway 04. Vista America arriving from Rome, all silvery, looking lovely. Picture on flight radar really looks nice. It just passed the crane. Obviously a pushback there. Chinese triple, Suparna. This is Vista America. Vista America arriving from Rome. Bombardier Challenger 300. American registered the November 534 X-Ray Juliet. A 13-year-old machine. First flight 2013. All the distortion, it doesn't look that pretty now, does it? Yeah. Without the need to zoom out, you can see when the building is in front of the airplane, between us and it. Boom. And there it begins again. It's nice to see that the swans are still here. They were on this side in the canal this morning as I arrived here and was setting up. 6 young ones, great feathers, absolutely beautiful to see. German Airways, Deutsche Tourwagen Meisterschaft, special livery. Hey, and how about seeing the Herpa Derpa last, when was it, Sunday? Last time we were here? That has been a long time since I saw that one in real life again. Sparta is slowly but surely coming this way. It will have to cross the runway at some point. The question is, when will that be? In the meantime, Dino is also back in the chat and he is celebrating a membership anniversary, 13 months no less. Goedemorgen, goedemorgen, good morning everyone. Good morning to you too, Dino. Thank you so much for your long-lasting support. Congratulations on 13 months of membership. Hope that the membership is still to your satisfaction. If that's no longer the case, do let me know what you feel needs to be improved. Even if you did decide, if you were to decide to stop being a member. I'm always open for feedback, let me know. Okay, Lufthansa 1070 arriving from Southampton is landing next. It's number 175. It's 11:21 and that means we're already 40 minutes in the power hour for arrivals. Converging arrivals taking place now for 40 minutes already. That means in another 20 or so, runway 36 right should close again. If we're lucky, a bit sooner. If not, then at least... Oh! Gary Grebe making noise. If you were thinking, what am I hearing? It was Gary Grebe coming this way. Was that a... For a moment I thought I saw a fish or something in the water, but that probably was just a reflection of clouds. Obviously. Sparta has crossed the runway. Dave was here again, asks how do the swans sign their name? Is it a signature? Keep them coming. For those of you who don't know, cygnus is, I think, the Latin word for swan, if I recall correctly. Higher level joke there. If you didn't have any Latin in school, you probably are missing out on the joke. Keep them coming, mate. I like jokes like that. It's narrow-body's rush hour for the time being. A 737-700 up next. E2 Embraer 737-800 next after that. And also to the other runway, it's all narrow-bodies for the time being. but now leaving the premises, at least this part of the runway area, the airport area I should say, more rather. And the tractor over there still doing its thing. KLM flight 954 up next, arrival from Newcastle. Die Klaartje, goedemorgen. Good to see you again. Swans are still there. I'm thinking there are even more swans over there. Here this morning there were 2 white ones, 2 parents and 6 little ones. Or... oh no, it was looking like one of the young ones had white feathers, but they're still grey. Still one couple of parents with 6 young ones. Oop. E2MR 195 with a Karen cabin in the back, a spacious one at that, I might add. Arrived from Stockholm. Well, it's still narrow bodies o'clock. Where is the first next wide body? I'm looking. Is it KLM flight 604? Is it going to be 604 from LAX? Looking around, I do see more wide bodies coming this way. Oh, and interestingly, ladies and gentlemen, nearing the Dutch-German border is Thai Airways with their A350. We already saw the Vietnam Airlines A350 this morning. In a few moments from now, we'll learn if Thai will get assigned the Kaagbaan or if it's still going to go to the Alsmeerban. I'm thinking, since it is already 11:27, by the time the Thai A350 arrives at Schiphol, it will have been past 11:40. So my guess is, my cautiously optimistic guess is that Thai will get assigned Kaagbaan, runway 06, upon arriving in Dutch airspace. Keep an eye out for that, ladies and gentlemen, because we'll learn in a few moments, if we don't already. Hey, what up, Jeff? Good to see you again. Maxime says, talking about Latin and the Romans, there was a girl in my school who proudly told that every night she went to bed with a roman. She meant a novel, which is a roman in Dutch. Yeah, you're right. Roman, pronounced in the Dutch way, roman, means novel. Peter Olding also back in the chat. Good morning, mate. And Thai assigned to the Alsmeerban, says Maria. What? That's robbery. We're being robbed of an A350 that should be landing here. Surely it's going to be well past 11:40 local time once the tide gets here. We've seen it before. Initial runway assignments still changing. Fingers crossed this is also going to be one of those occurrences. That would be terribly disappointing if it were to go to the Aalsmeerbaan. Here we have Air Oink Oink returning from Istanbul, Turkey. Pegasus. Maria will keep an eye on it. Thank you so much, Maria. Always much appreciated that you keep things in check and keep monitoring everything. We'll find out soon enough. I would be surprised if it were arriving well past 10:40 and still would get assigned Aalsmeerbaan. Then again, nothing is strange here at Schiphol Airport. Expect the unexpected. Going to the Kaagbaan. Are already people saying it is going to the Kaagbaan? We'll see. We'll see. On paper, I think it should go to the Kaagbaan. If it doesn't, we still are going to be able to see it. That's the silver lining. See that the tractor is still in the field collecting straw. Well, we still have to wait a little for our next arrival. The tractor once again playing hide and seek. There it is again. Driving around in the field still. Against the backdrop of airplane tails, lovely. And the tower, Rembrandt Tower, near Amsterdam Station, train station. It used to be the HQ of Royal Philips. Then they moved to a building that was newly built right next to it. And I moved back to my old hometown in 2022. So I'm not sure if Philips is still there. Didn't they go back to Eindhoven with their HQ? Not sure that they did. W is also back in the chat. Good morning. KLM 1788 from Hanover, ETA 1138, also assigned Aalsmeerbaan. Yeah, those are still coming to the Aalsmeerbaan. Transavia behind it also looks to be going there. Weather here in the Netherlands today is dichotomous. It's cloudy to the north. Northern half of the country is not seeing a lot of sun yet, maybe later today. The south is much more sunny. At the southerly horizon you can see more blue. It's not completely cloudless, but it's definitely less cloudy than it is over here. It does look a little like the cloudiness is drifting further south. Then again, it's not moving significantly. Here in the Amsterdam area, we are right on the edge between the two weather types. Means that today over here it's not very warm, it's not cold either, but it's definitely not scorching hot, and with a bit of a breeze it's lovely to be out. This is KLM flight 1174 arriving from Stavanger, and that's an Embraer 175. Maria says still for the Aalsmeerbaan. That would be something, wouldn't it? It's 11:34 and the tie is still pretty far away. Although they are directing it directly to what looks like the glide slope of... well, it could be either of the two runways. They're not directing it to the northwest, at least, to Lelystad. Usually that's where airplanes arriving from the east first fly to Lelystad, and then from there to the southwest towards Almere, and then to Schiphol. Let's see, up next is KLM flight 1944 arriving from Basel, Embraer 190, and another Embraer 175 behind it arriving from Norwich. In the meantime, a massive big thanks to Joost 1961 for your super chat. Happy day everyone, cooler weather on the way. Hey, have a look, this is the Herpa Derpa Derpa once again. Saw it again in the live stream last Sunday for the first time after a long absence, or at least to me it feels like it has been a long absence. Herpa Derpa Derpa going viral with itches and scratches for 75 years already. Cooler weather underway, says Joost, and he used the super chat to do so. You didn't have to use the super chat, mate, but it's much appreciated. Thank you so much for your generosity. I, for one, am definitely looking forward to a bit cooler weather because of sleep quality mostly. Even though I do have sunscreens on the outside of the windows of my bedrooms and also on the ground floor, eventually heat still seeps in and it makes sleeping a bit harder. So in that sense I am looking forward to cooler weather, but let's keep it summery and sunny for a long time, as far as I'm concerned. Embraer 190, no, Embraer 175 of course, arriving from Norwich, doesn't come equipped with a carrying cabin. Next, another Embraer 190. It's Embraer 190s and Embraer 175s, one after the other. Also a massive big thanks and congratulations to Peter Olding, who is now a member for 24 months and has received a green, went from a green to a blue badge now for a year. Peter writes, are there many other blue members who aren't mods? Well, I think most of the mods by now have the 3-year badge actually. So I think there's just a few who do have blue badges. The shield of course remains blue. So everybody who otherwise has a blue badge probably isn't a mod. I don't know exactly how many there are right now. It's always changing. I'm pretty sure that the majority of blue badge holders isn't a mod. Anyway, a massive big thanks to you, Peter, for 24 months of membership. Congratulations and thank you so much for your long-lasting support. Hope the membership is still very much to your satisfaction, and if that's no longer the case, do let me know what you feel needs to be changed. And let me see what I can do to make things better for you and everybody else who is a member. Steven is also back in the chat, aka JPN, just play nuts. Good to see you again, mate. Hope all is well. John McKenzie, tuning in from Hong Kong, I assume. Also back. Reversers on the Umbrella 190. Not always. Not always. But sometimes they do use them. Karsten's also back. Good morning. Peter Power Metal, good morning. Hey Kevo, good morning. Kevo is also one of the blue badge holders who is in the mod. Airplane number 2 on the glide slope now is a wide body, the first in a while. Backdrop is looking lovely with all the cloudiness and contrast. This is KLM Flight 601 arriving from LAX, and before it an Umbrella 190 arriving from Humberside. Right, KLM Flight 601 arriving from LAX. It's 11:40 and there are no more airplanes going to runway 36 right, except for the Thai. Unless, of course, it's continuing to fly towards Alphen aan de Rijn, but if it's going to make a right-hand turn pretty soon, we'll know. Bezoek de omgevingsinfo Schiphol app or website was right. It would be something, wouldn't it, if ATC only would direct the Thai A350 to 36 right, while all the rest of the arrivals are already assigned the Kaagbaan. More birds in the water over there as well. Mostly coots, if not all. I don't think I've seen ducks yet this morning. It's just coots. Gary Grebe made a brief appearance here before diving under. The coots are here. They're pretty numerous here today, I have to say. More coots. And here too is another coot approaching. It does look like the swans are coming this way, ladies and gentlemen. That is good news. Have a look. Mama and Papa swan with, it should be 6. Yep, I am counting 6. Still the Aalsmeerbaan for Thai. And is it turning in already? This is where it's decision time. It's either continuing and will go to the 06, or if it's initiating a right-hand turn, we'll know that it's still going to the Aalsmeerbaan. It's turning, isn't it? Yep. Those ATC bastards. They're actually doing it. They're actually assigning the Thai as only airplane after 11:40. Why? Why do they do this? Why on earth do they do this? They're screwing around with us. So yeah, the Thai A350 should have been assigned runway 06. It's going to 36 right instead. Now luckily the swans are approaching and we can have a better look at them by the minute. How about this for a thumbnail, eh? Aren't they cute? Have a look. And away they go. Bye bye guys. Be safe. Flight 682 arriving from Vancouver, Canada, 777-300. Gary Grebe has also made a return. Right, those ATC bastards. Thai. Arriving from Bangkok, Thai Airways, flight 936, arriving from Bangkok, as I was saying, A350-900, the Hotel Sierra Tango Hotel Golf, 9 years old, first flight July 2017. It's going to the wrong runway. Hey? I felt a droplet on my cheek. And another one on my arm. Precipitation. Last glimpses before it's vanishing behind the buildings. We will be able to see the rollout still. E2 and Brad 195 are from Edinburgh over here in the meantime. And after that, wide bodies again. Oh no, KLM flight 1498 is also going to the wrong runway still. What? Let's set the focus back to manual. In the meantime, Wesley has returned in the chat and is celebrating 21 months of membership, almost 2 years. Time flies faster than a Concorde. And that is a pretty fast bird. You're absolutely right, Wesley. Time flies when you're having fun or if you're leading a busy life. I hope you still enjoy the membership. Congratulations on 21 months, mate. If you have any improvements, do let me know. I'm always open for feedback. Feedback is always welcome. Wesley, Tom, celebrating 21 months of membership. Congratulations and thank you so much for your long-lasting support, my friend. Maxime will not order Thai tonight as a repercussion. That's right. That's right. Although we are missing out then. There's one kitchen I definitely am enjoying a lot. It's always Thai food. It's wide bodies for the time being. 3 of them back to back. Delta Airlines Flight 162 arrived from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Up first, an A330-300 with TUI flying behind it. 757 is the flight number. 7878 is the airplane type. Here's the A330. It is 10 to 12, and if I'm not mistaken, in half an hour from now, the first of 4 remaining airplanes of interest should be landing here. Reversers being deployed. Let's turn around the camera. TUI Flight 757, which is a 7878 Dreamliner arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. Up next, Delta Airlines is flying behind it. That is an A330 Neo, and after that KLM with a 737-800 arriving from Glasgow. That's the 737. This is the A330 Neo. Here's the Dreamliner. And the gears extending on the A330, or no, there's still, the hatches are still closed. Mike Wild is also back in the chat. Good to see you again, mate. Hope all is well. TUI Flight 757 is arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. 8 hours and 48 minutes on the way. The Papa Hotel Tango Foxtrot Lima. 11 years old already. First flight November 2014. Menacing looking machine. The lights are on, the headlights are on, and the equipment is still spinning. Definitely don't want to be outside in the grass when that thing passes you by. Don't be too close to that machine. Hey, Rob Lurp is also back in the chat. Good to see you, Rob. Welcome back, mate. Right. What's it doing next? It's reversing. Still more lanes to be collected. Either way, let's turn around. Delta Airlines Flight 236 is next, arriving from Tampa in Florida. A330 Neo. 8 hours and 33 minutes on the way. The November 430 Delta X-Ray. It's a year old. First flight August 2024. August. A gust of wind. Reversers work. Check. Koen wonders how many planes land roughly on a day at Schiphol. That's a good question. That is a good question. I think they can bring in around 1 per minute during peaks. So that would equate to 60 times 24 theoretically, but usually in the night hours they don't land that frequently. Usually far less. It's a good question. Several hundred at least, I'd say. Nice clarity, we can see Aegean, Transavia, Lufty, more Transavia, Air Arabia Morocco. All seems to be quiet on the cargo apron. The tractor is still there. The closer it gets to the airplanes, the more perspective and appreciation for scale you get. That tractor looks very teeny tiny in comparison to the triple, which is still further back. Air Canada Flight 808 is up next. Let me turn around the camera. Arrival from Toronto, Canada, 7878 Dreamliner. Oh, what's that vehicle coming this way? In the Risa. P1. P1. PP is coming. As is this Air Canada Dreamliner in bank rubber livery. Arrival from Toronto, Canada, 7878 Dreamliner. 6 hours and 46 minutes on the way. It is an 11-year-old machine already. First flight was in October 2014. Vehicle from P1 had haste, was in a hurry, already over there in the distance. And the reverser also works on the Dreamliner. Well, there you go. Varying numbers, but several hundred of airplanes arriving on any given day. 600 to 1,000. Well, if you count it together, it's probably 1,000 to 1,500 flight movements, both inbound and outbound, divided probably roughly equally among arrivals and departures. TUI Max 8 737 arrival from Ibiza next. Hey Ronald, bom dia! Tuning in from Lagos in Portugal. Awaiting his flight back to Amsterdam this afternoon. Have a good flight, mate. Alright, it's nearly 12, and if I'm not mistaken, in half an hour, if not less, our first airplane of interest of the 4 that are remaining should be arriving here. So let's have a quick look on Flight Radar to see where those airplanes of interest are currently at. Orange Pride is the first of the 4 approaching the Gulf of Yorkshire. Should be here around 12:22. So that's the next arrival of interest. Cargolux arriving around 1:05, and Emirates is arriving 1:22 right now, and 1:39 for the Compass Cargo. These 2 will land on the wrong runway, unfortunately, because that will reopen again around 1. Orange Pride and the 747 arrival from Miami should be landing here. This is KLM Flight 1762, returning from Bremen, an Embraer 175. No carrying cabin on the back, in the back. So, big picture wise, it's still cloudy to the north, it's still cloudy to the east. Looking to the south, there are still bits of blue, but it does look like they are moving away from where we are standing ever so slowly. That got to me in the Netherlands with respect to weather once again. We're also now looking in the direction of the glide slope. That's looking to the southwest. Initially it was more open, now it's also getting a bit more cloudy over there. Over here 1 or 2 teeny tiny droplets have fallen. Doesn't amount to anything substantial. I think there also was there were 1 or 2 droplets on the lens, or has that already dried up again? I think those have dried up already. It is time for a wide body in the form of KLM Flight 758 returning from Panama City. This is a 777-300. It's flight time 9 hours and 49 minutes. The Papa Hotel Bravo Victor Victor BVV. Not PVV, a well-known political party here in the Netherlands, but BVV, Bravo Victor Victor. It's a 5-year-old machine, first flight December 2020. Typical howling that you'll hear whenever a 777-300 or freighter passes by on landing. Check out the control of the airplane's nose. The elevator and the rudder were worked by the pilot flying quite nicely. A pushback in progress, and a Queen no less. Cargolux is getting pushed back. Will it be flying to Luxembourg? It's probably going to be taking off from the wrong runway. Any runway that is the Kaagbaan is the wrong runway today, of course. But no, wait, we do have only 1 runway open for inbound traffic, so 2 open for outbound traffic. Is it going to Luxembourg? Because then it might take off from center, and we should be able to get a nice on-axis butt shot from its departure in a few moments. Unless, of course, it's going to the west, then it's going to be taking off via the Polderbaan and will be further away when taking off. Walk time for Martin. Be back soon. Take it easy, mate. Don't trip. Be careful out there. We want you back in one piece, alright? In the meantime, it's once again time for a bunch of narrow bodies. In fact, the 3 Embraer types that KLM Cityhopper has are now approaching. Not in order of size, but they are still coming. Embraer 175, E2 Embraer 195, and then also an Embraer 190. After that, Delta with another A330neo. First up, the smallest of the bunch, the Embraer 175. Relatively tall outward facing winglets, small engine. Next, the biggest of the bunch, the E2 Embraer 195, which is returning from London Heathrow to Luxembourg. Confirms Maria, thanks for that. So that should be taking off center then, I think, most likely it will. Big ass engines, no winglets, that's an E2 Embraer for ya. It will also have a typical whistle when passing by. The whistle you'll also hear whenever an A220 passes by. Speaking of passing by, Cormorant. Also in the process of passing by. Is it going to land in the canal? I think it is. Here we go, touchdown, splashdown, check it out. Boom. Controlled crash into the water. Mission accomplished. The E2 Embraer, it comes equipped with a carrying cabin in the back, as you can see. And I am assuming you guys heard the whistle I was referring to earlier. A220s also make those sounds when passing by. We haven't seen or heard that many today, have we? Come to think of it. Usually we always get to see a bunch of Air Baltics, but don't recall that we've seen that many. Have they all gone to the secondary runway this morning? Were they late? Do I have a blank for our Baltic A220s? A blind spot. Annette is also back in the chat. Good to see you again, Annette. Hope all is well. In the meantime, more droplets are falling over here. Battling for Brody is also back in the chat, and he is celebrating a membership anniversary. 9 months of membership. Thanks for all you do. For all you do for us, boy, he writes. Thank you so much for your long-lasting support, Brody. Thanks for the kind words, and congratulations on 9 months of membership. I hope it's still to your satisfaction over there in the lounge. If it isn't, do tell me and let me know what you feel needs to be changed, and I'll see what I can do to make things better for you and all the other members. Theo is also in the chat, as is Etty VH. Good day to you both. Welcome to everybody else who may have joined in the meantime. This is an Embraer 190. Relatively smaller winglets, more upward facing and a bit longer fuselage. Arrival from BHD, Belfast.
Hey, I'm live.
Belfast, indeed, in Northern Ireland. Hoi.
Hoi. Kijk jou.
Leuk man.
Ja. Goede livestreams.
Dankjewel, dankjewel.
Ja. Er komen delta's aan, A330.
Er komen delta's aan, inderdaad. Delta's are coming. Let's see, there are at least 2 of the same airplane type, back to back. Yeah, 2 of them right now. Delta Airlines Flight 144 arriving from Seattle, Washington. And after that, Delta Airlines Flight 136 arrived from Detroit, Michigan. 2 back-to-back Delta A330 Neos. I also see a Qatar 777 freighter in the vicinity of Hilversum. That's arriving from the east and should be landing here in a few moments from now. After the 2 Deltas, we'll first see Shamrock Flight 604, which is returning from Dublin, Ireland, an A321neo. Kaagbaan is also back in the chat. Veldi as well. Guten Morgen und herzlich willkommen. Queenie is approaching the runway and is preparing to cross the runway. Is it happening already? I think it is. Let's press the space bar. That was the Queen crossing the runway. Let's quickly turn back for another Delta A330 Neo. This is Delta Airlines Flight 136, which is returning from Detroit, Michigan. 7 hours and 21 minutes underway. The November 414 Delta Zulu. 4 years old, first flight May 2022. Reversers are working, quite clearly audible. Let's see, Qatar should be somewhere southeast of me. I think I have it. It's approaching on its downwind leg to the Kaagbaan. Where did I see it? Close to the lights over there. There it is. That's Qatar flight 8205, returning to Amsterdam from Doha. Right now, no more action over there on the cargo apron. The next arrival is coming and is over there. Shamrock, aka Aer Lingus, gear extending. Flight 604, arriving from Dublin in Ireland. Usually a flight time of around an hour. This time the flight time has been an hour and 4 minutes, so that's ballpark nominal. A321neo, Irish registered EIXLW, X-ray Lima Whiskey. It is a brand new airplane, it's less than a year old. It first began to fly in September last year, so it will turn 1 in a few months from now. Maxime says, quick everyone, hide the Guinness. Aer Lingus is approaching. We'll first get an Embraer 190 arriving from London City after that, before the Qatar triple will be landing here. Qatar looks to be the third arrival here. Air China Cargo Office also back in the chat. Good to see you again, man. Are you guys going to be sending over 747s again sometime in the nearby future? Do you happen to know? Or is it just A330s and triples from now on? Suparna, every now and then, or at least not too long ago, still sent a 747 to Schiphol. Obviously, it would be nice if other carriers would follow suit. Right. In the meantime, the 747 leaving via the central runway. There it is. Cargo Lux going to Luxembourg. Turning away.
Mag ik wat vragen?
Jazeker.
Komen er nog meer speciale vliegtuigen aan?
Nou, de Orange Pride die komt over 5 minuten. De Orange Pride.
Ja,
Van
komt die
welke-
op deze landingsbaan?
Die komt op deze landingsbaan, ja.
Dat is KLM toch?
Ja, dat is KLM. Dat is die aan de voorkant oranje is en aan de achterkant blauw.
777 denk ik.
Ja, die komt zo meteen.
200?
Ja, en er komen nog een paar 747's aan en een A380. De A380 gaat waarschijnlijk naar de andere baan.
Oké.
Want die is na ene. En om 1:30 komt er nog een Compass Air Cargo 747. Die gaat ook naar de andere baan. Kan ik wel met mijn camera vanaf hier nog zien. Maar als je het visueel wil zien of met je telefoon foto's wil maken, dan sta je er denk ik net iets te ver van weg. Er komt nog wel zo meteen ook een 747 deze kant op vanuit Miami.
Oh,
ja.
Die komt 20 minuten na de Orange Pride. Die komt als het goed is binnen een half uur ongeveer. Ja.
Welke airlines zijn die 747?
Atlas en de Compass die vliegt voor Emirates Sky Cargo.
Oh, allebei cargo dus.
Ja. Ja, het is, 747's op Schiphol zijn allemaal cargo.
Ja.
dan moet je naar Frankfurt om nog passagier 747's te zien. The young lads over here are asking if there are special airplanes still ahead, and I told them about the Orange Pride and also the 747s and the A380. One of the boys asked if the 747s were cargo 747s. Obviously, here in the Netherlands, unfortunately, all the 747s that visit Schiphol are cargo, unless it would happen to be a diversion that had a different destination but had to divert to Schiphol. But other than incidents. Here is the Qatar 777, Qatar flight 8205 arrival from Doha. Six hours and 54 minutes on the way. The Alpha 7 Bravo Foxtrot Zulu, 5 years old, first flight April 2021. Hey, Killer Spieler is also back in the chat. Good to see you again. Hope it was well. Qatar, arriving from Doha, 6 hours and 54 minutes on the way. After that, Transavia, arriving from Valencia, that's a 737-800. Glistening over there in the center. Still at a respectable distance from the triple. Ah, the Panda livery coming tonight, says Plane Spotting AMS. That's good news. I was about to tell the boys, but they're walking off. They're going to the approach lights to be standing right under the Orange Pride when it is landing here in a moment. still over the Gulf of Yorkshire right now, but approaching quickly. KLM Flight 744 arriving from Lima in Peru. That's your Orange Pride. Meanwhile, Lot is approaching from the east, and an Embraer 190 from BA City Flyer is arriving from London City. This is Transavia Flight 6338 arriving from Valencia. 1 hour and 52 minutes on the way to get here. The Papa Hotel, Hotel Sierra Foxtrot HSF. 14 years old already. First flight April 2012. TAP Portugal is also approaching, is now flying in the vicinity of The Hague. Quickly looking over my left shoulder to see if maybe the swans are returning, but they don't seem to be visible. Good for them. Stay away from Schiphol and all those big airplane engines. Still, it was nice to see them swimming over here. Those young swans with their grey feathers, looking so fluffy. Hey, is that a pushback or... Oh no, of course not. That's the Qatar jet that just now landed. Alrighty, the KLM Orange Pride is approaching the border between the Gulf of Yorkshire and mainland Netherlands. Going on a more southerly trajectory, which allows the three narrow bodies that are now approaching to go ahead of them. Start turning in. Mitchell op een fiets, goedemorgen. Middag. Good afternoon, it is already afternoon over here. BA City Flyer looks to be first. Question is, well no, I think TAP Portugal will probably be arriving here as second. Lot will be number 3 and the Orange Pride will probably be number 4 then. I'm hearing overhead traffic. It's just impossible to see anything right now. It's completely overcast, at least over here in the vicinity of where I am standing. It does look like further to the north there are some openings in the deck of clouds. Same look to the northwest. The west once again fully cloudy. South also still has blue, but you really need to look at the horizon. It's drifting further away, the bits of blue. BA City Flyer arriving from London City, Embraer 190. So, just a quick recap of what we are still awaiting. The Orange Pride, minutes from now. Cargo Lux will be next after that, arriving around 1:06. This is the Emirates A380, now expected 20 minutes past 1 and 40 minutes past 1 Compass Air Cargo. The latter two will most likely land on runway 36 right, but we should still be able to see them quite nicely from here. BA City Flyer Flight 8489, arriving from London City, which usually averages around 40 to 45 minutes of flight time. It's now 36 minutes, so maybe a bit of tailwind or a more direct route. The Golf Lima Charlie Yankee Victor, 17 years old already, first flight somewhere in 2009. After that, TAP Air Portugal arriving from Lisbon, and next after that, LOT arriving from Warsaw. LOT is turning in from the left, and the Orange Pride is already visible behind it, flying in the vicinity of Leiden. 777, of course, a bit bigger, more easily recognizable from a distance. 3 airplane glide slope shot, TAP Air Portugal up first, arriving from Lisbon, A321neo, E2 Embraer 195 from LOT, arriving from Warsaw. And then the KLM Orange Pride arriving from Lima in Peru. TAP Air Portugal, flight 668, arriving from Lisbon. Another 4, make that 4 airplane glide slope shot. Quite lovely to see. LOT flight 263 here in the foreground, arriving from Warsaw, E2 Embraer 195, and behind it is KLM flight 744, arriving from Lima in Peru, 777-300. Jali J. Jeanette is also back in the chat, celebrating 12 months of membership. 12 months, yippee! Congratulations, Jeanette, on 12 months of membership. A green badge for you from now on. Hope everything in the lounge is still to your satisfaction, and if that's not the case, do let me know what you feel needs to be changed, and I'll see what I can do to make it better for you and all the other members. Jali J. Jeanette, congratulations on a year of membership. And thank you so much for your long-lasting support. A lot to see at Schiphol, always. Karen cabin in the back. Let's quickly turn back, have a look at the KLM Orange Pride. The PHBVA, first flight, January 2008. No need to look that up. Most regulars will know that from memory by now. 11 hours and 53 minutes on the way. Lima, which is in Peru, which is right next to
Ecuador!
18 years old already, old enough to vote. Following the KLM orange stripe, we'll see KLM flight 767 arriving from Bonaire. That's an A330-200. Nice wheelie there. Nice display of control there by the pilot flying. Absolutely lovely. Only a handful of custom emojis, mostly by Maria and Paul and Maxime and Rob. Those custom emojis are there for a reason, eh, guys? Particularly for the members. Have fun with them. Then again, it is still a Thursday. Many of you still not having weekend. I understand. It's easier to be more enthusiastic in the weekends. I perfectly understand. KLM flight 767 arriving from Bonaire. Up next, A330-200, followed by the Red Wine Express. Consolidation is on the way. How buttery will the landing be? Main gear, butter. Front gear, also butter. Reversers, question mark? It's KLM, eh? Nah. Not dice. Oh, easy lads, easy. Be nice. Kuts being territorial. What is... Yeah, and now you're in the territory of two other Kuts. This is going to be a massive fight if they're not careful. This cannot end well. It's because of Kuts that you need social distancing. Not because of Kudies, but Kuts. Jesus. Oh no, Jeffrey's weekend just finished. Have to start in the evening shift in about 2 hours. Huh? Does your evening shift already start in mid-afternoon? Wow. I'm used to evening shifts starting at 5 or something, or 7. Depending on what time they end. Well, it depends if your work has 3 or 4 shifts. Right. KLM 9868 arriving from Norwich. I think it's over there. 737-800. That looks to be continuing, and I wouldn't be surprised if that were to land on 36 right or maybe even break away to 04. It's crossing the glide slope of the Kaagbaan. Relocation flight, looking at the flight number or call sign. It's not even a flight number, I think. Arriving from Norwich. It's flying at 3975 feet. Right. Next up, Transavia arriving from RBA Rabat, I think. RBA Rabat in Morocco, I assume. Yep. Maxime says, looks like PHEAB is now coming in for 36 right. I don't know what that is. Don't see anything on flight radar. Let me disengage the filters for a moment. See what is there. Still not seeing anything. Hey, Apache. Oh, cool. I do see an Apache flying over the A2 highway in the vicinity of Breukelen. That's nice. Will the Apache come to Schiphol? We have seen Apaches here before, I think twice now. KLM flight 1502 arriving from Madrid. Up next, A321neo. If all is well. Oh no, that was 106. I still had in my mind that there was another arrival of interest around 1240, but that got postponed to 106. So 106, 120 and 140 is when the next three airplanes of interest will be arriving. One 747 still arriving from the west, landing here on Kaagbaan, and two other airplanes, a 747 and an A380, both arriving from the east and probably most likely headed for 36 right, which will open again in less than half an hour from now, around 1 o'clock. Until then, everything coming in will be coming this way. YOD is also back in the chat, a bit late, sorry today, sorry, no need to be sorry, mate. No need to be sorry, better late than never. And it is still a Thursday after all, so I perfectly understand if people also have more obligations than just watching AMS Live on Thursdays. KLM flight 9868 seems to be on final now to 36 right. I do see it now in the distance. Relocation flight arriving from Norwich. Over here we have a 737 arriving from Prague. KLM flight 1354. Hey, dankjewel jongens. Fijne dag. Doei doei. Here's the relocating 737. Train wires in the foreground. Yeah, it's a KLM 737. What's there to see? Dime in a dozen. A similar 737 is now approaching the Kaagbaan and will be landing much closer by. Here it is. We'll be able to see more details in this. This is KLM flight 1614 arriving from Milan. Lots of splishy splashy stuff going on here. That is Chris Koot diving under, looking for veggies in the water. You can see nicely here how the feathers are water repellent, and instead of seeping into the feathers, they stay on them, roll off even. Similar thing happens with your clothes if you prepare them with water repellent chemicals. VW number 14 is coming this way. Not exactly sure what its purpose. VW Nido, is that the type? So, Chris Koot over here, moving around, doing morning cardio, lunch cardio. He's always active. More birds in the canal over there as well. Good. No, that's a grebe. This is good. That was a grebe. He sensed the camera and dove under. Hey, check it out. I think we have seen our first duckies. Daisy duck and a bunch of ducklings. 2, 4, 8 or so. Must be at least 8 or so. Howdy Henk, goedemiddag. Good to see you again, mate. Henk from Hogeveen also in the chat. Hi Jarno, goedemiddag. Jij ook een fijne dag. You also have a nice day, mate. So yeah, Daisy duck also has been sighted for the first time today at least. All kinds of lights if I turn the camera the other way. The airplanes all have their taxi lights on. It doesn't look that special on the video footage, but it is a bit more clear. It stands a bit more out when you see it in real life. As if it's getting dark and all the cars are already doing turning their headlights on during twilight. It's hard to convey that contrast that you see in real life on the camera footage, or at least with this camera. Here's our next arrival. It's EasyJet with an A320neo, arriving from Milan in the north. Well, in Italy. not exactly the far north. It's also not the far south. Suparna is coming this way, and I think I have the 777 on its downwind leg. Let's have a quick look and see if that is indeed Suparna arriving. I think it is. It almost certainly has to be. Yep. For shizzle my nizzle. That's a Suparna 777 coming this way, and Air Baltic is flying behind it. So earlier I was mentioning that we haven't seen that many Air Baltics yet, at least to my recollection. That is going to change pretty soon. Thank you so much, Klaas, for your generosity. A bottle of vodka, here you go. The last one left from my birthday. Use it well. Well, if it is the last one, I'll definitely be very careful when using it. Make sure it is for a proper occasion. I'm surprised you had vodka left over, mate. Thank you so much, Klaus. You really didn't have to do that. Especially no super chat was needed. Thank you so much, though. Much appreciated. Ronald, goedemiddag. Faris, goedemiddag. Thank you for the kind words. Hey, Martin is also back. Hopefully in one piece. Let's turn the camera. We have two narrow bodies preceding the Suparna 777. KLM will be first with an A321neo arriving from Copenhagen, and SAS will be second with an Embraer 195 arriving from Oslo. There's the A321neo, and there's the Embraer 195 turning in. Ah, the cure drinks beer. Yeah, in that case, you'll probably buy too much rather quickly. It's getting more busy here in the canal, or at least the busyness is moving this way. Lovely to see. Daisy and quite a bunch. That's already 3 on her side. And how many more are in the water? The side of the canal. Oh no, wait, that's also... Hey, that's also grebes with apparent grebe with greblings, or no? Wait, those are ducks. Those aren't grebes; those are baby ducks. This is one massive nest of ducklings. Well, you guys tell me how many you guys are counting. That's more 8 to 10ish, if not more. Wow, big nest. If that's just one nest and not the nest of 2 mama ducks. This is KLM flight 1270 arriving from Copenhagen, an A321neo. Check it out, swans on parade. Not bulls on parade, but swans on parade. They're back right where they were when I arrived here, and they were, and now I began to set up things really close by. Yum 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 yum. Yum 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 yum. They're actually a bit too close by for us to see properly. Ooh, he's got a lot of fibrous plant material there. Mama's checking up. You okay, son? Yes, eat. Eat, young ones. Get big and healthy. Good. Apache coming in from the north. Is that so? Let me see. Where is the Apache? Apache. Oh, Apache circling over the terminal building. Already over here. I was looking on flight radar to see where they are. Oh, come on, focus. Everything happening at once. Well, there you go. Third time we are seeing an Apache in the show. Chris Coot is bad mouthing. He is being brave going in against the big swans, which are a multitude bigger than he is. This is my terrain. He is objecting. The kids are over there, the parents are over here. Suparna is arriving, 777-300, no, 777 freighter. Reversers being deployed there by the Suparna 777. It is 10 minutes to 1, and that means that in 15 minutes from now... Ooh, check it out! And now we also have Daisy Duck. How many ducklings? 2, 4, 6, 8. They're looking at the little... Ooh, snows! Quickly! Swim, swim! They're thinking, wow, these babies are really big. They're already bigger than mama. Going around the baby swans with ample spatial separation. Yum, 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 yum. We can already see the first airplanes on arrival to runway 36 right. Converging arrivals are commencing. Air Baltic up next. Bombardier C-Series 300 arriving from Riga, flight 621. It's interesting how the young swans are over here together having lunch, and both parents are over there. Daisy and the ducklings are over there, and Suparna is giving us a long distance headshot. Now, one of the young swans is also headed for mommy and daddy. Oh, and this one caught a lot of om-yum-yum. Next, little swan going to mommy and daddy. Now number 3 is also leaving. And the last one. That's group behavior for you. Now over there somewhere there is a coot who is objecting against the visitors that are swimming around the corner. What? You guys are over here? This is my territory. Alright. right, it's time for wide bodies, the heavy hitters, 2 of them. KLM Flight 755 will be arriving next, arriving from Guayaquil, which is a port in Port City, I should say more rather. Hey Ton, goedemiddag, good to see you again mate, welcome back, hope all is well. Behind the KLM Dreamliner arriving from Guayaquil, we have a 777-300 which is arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. Chris Good is swimming this way. The baby swans are over there. He's like a couple of meters away and he's seemingly complaining about their presence. Good luck with that. You and what army are going to get rid of those swans? The first arrival, 236 right, is about to touch down. It's number 175 arriving from Frankfurt. Behind it is number 190, so we're not missing out on a lot of interesting traffic right now. In fact, I would say that the most interesting traffic is coming to the Kaagbaan for now. Here we go, the swans are now over there. Gary Grebe is also watching and thinking, well, better stay clear of them. Best not to mingle and interfere with them. Hank has to go again. See you later, mate. See you hopefully later in the weekend. This is KLM Flight 622 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. Oh, 777-300. This is the PHBVO. BVO Bravo Victor Oscar. 11 years old. First flight March 2015. Flap surfaces, immaculately clean, as they almost always are. Oh, is that Field Kestrel? Or what is that? Not sure. Was looking a bit like a predator bird. Swans are still there. Let's see, it's 12:58. Where's the 747? It is approaching. It's over the Gulf of Yorkshire. Behind it is Iceland Air Flight 500, and unfortunately that's an A321neo. No 757 today. Cargo Lux arriving from Miami, Florida. 8-6 November, the call sign. I'd say there are 4 or so airplanes preceding it. There's another vehicle entering the Risa. Or the end of Risa. No, it's now entered the Risa. No, it's still at the end of the Risa. Runway end safety area. Buzzard! There you go, thank you Tom. Firefighter training vehicle, I think, TR-60. For a moment I thought maybe the sun was going to creep from behind the clouds, but I think it just passed, or at least a few thinner clouds passed in front of it. Over here, for a moment it looked like things were opening. They are more open over here. This is looking to the north, so that would make the northwest, more towards the Gulf of Yorkshire. It does look more open now. Glide slope to the southwest is still cloudy. That was more open before. It's interesting to see how the clouds and the weather is changing. Well, the weather is pretty constant. It's cloudy and not too cold. A bit of wind. It does feel like the wind has died down a little compared with, for instance, an hour ago. Which reminds me, it's time to update the ticker with the latest weather report. This is Sky Express flight 790 arriving from Athens. A320neo. Still claiming Greece's bliss. They keep on claiming Greece's bliss, but this is really, we know better, guys. Two Embraers, and then it looks like the 747 is coming, and I think I already see the ladder. Visibility isn't that bad, although it is cloudy. The clouds are more higher up, and that means that we are able to see traffic at lower levels relatively well. This is the third 747 of the show, the third one also to be landing on Kaagbaan. This is Cargolux 86 November. That's just a call sign, not a flight number. Arriving from Miami, Florida. Turning towards the glide slope. 8 hours and 2 minutes underway. This is the Lima X-ray, Lima Charlie Lima. 19 years old, first flight May 2007. Jan was worried I wasn't really going to question that statement. No, don't you worry, mate. Stay critical. You and I are alike like that. Always stay critical. Hey, check it out. Now that's a nice introduction. Don't mind me, I'm just floating about. Just passing through life. Awesome. Right, 19-year-old 747, the Lima X-ray, Lima Charlie Lima. The gear is still up. It will change soon though, which is why I'm going to introduce a bit more zoom. It's digital zoom, which is why the lights are now looking a bit pixelated. Nose cone seems to be in a different shade than the rest of the fuselage. It's returning from Miami, isn't it? Is it snow or powder? Could be. You never know. In a moment from now, we'll see the... Oh, I was about to say, we'll see the gear extend. There you go. Happens rather quickly. The 4 main gears come out simultaneously, contrary to the main gear of the A380, which goes out in pairs. Outer pair goes out first, and the inner pair. A380 assigned to Amsterdam. That shouldn't come as a surprise, but thank you so much for the update, Maria. In the the meantime, I see that Arjan van Vught went ahead and started gifting memberships, no less than 10. That is incredibly generous, Arjan. You really didn't have to do that. Thank you so much, though, for doing it. That also goes for Mehmet, who just now went ahead and started gifting memberships. 5 memberships gifted by Mehmet, 10 by Arjan. That's 15 recipients of a gifted membership. I hope that everyone who just received a gifted membership will enjoy it, first of all. Don't forget to say thank you to the gifter and enjoy the custom emojis now at your disposal for a month. Mehmet and Arjan, thank you both so much for your incredible generosity. That's 15 new members courtesy of you. 10 from Arjan, 5 from Mehmet. Welcome to the Skyline's new members. Right. Cargolux, 8-6 November, arriving from Miami in Florida. Lima X-ray, Charlie November, Lima Charlie Lima. Nothing November. 19 years old. Let's look and listen. Lovely. Daniel, goedemiddag. Ahmed, good afternoon. Perfect timing, guys. That was Cargolux. Turkish flight 1957 is on final to 36 right. That's an A330-300 arriving from Istanbul. Over here on Kaagbaan we are getting an A321neo from Iceland Air, flight 500 arriving from Reykjavik in Iceland. Quick glance at the Turkish A330 over there. Birth control is coming this way. Chris Koot is saying hi to all the viewers at home. Long distance headshot of Queenie. Hey, and is that the MPS getting pushed back? I think it is. The MPS is getting pushed back, ladies and gentlemen. Having landed on 36 right just now. What a nice bonus. I didn't expect the MPS to be moving in today's show. Now what is K4 doing? He's reversing right next to the swans. You're not going to chase away the swans with guns, are you? Yeah, I'm catching you on camera if you're committing a crime, mate. Nah, just kidding. They're not going to shoot the birds. If anything, they're going to chase them away with sounds and sound effects. Obviously, it's of paramount importance that no birds, especially no big birds, enter into airplane engines. E2 Embraer 195 in the meantime landing here Next arrival here on the Kaagbaan is going to be Air Transat, an A321neo, but one that crossed the Atlantic from Canada to the Netherlands. Here we have the Martin Air Cargo PH MPS, the Mike Papa Sierra. Only one of a kind, only one still remaining flying in the world. Martin Air, a company that otherwise is bankrupt and is a name of the past, founded by Martin Schroeder, pioneer in Dutch aviation history. If you go to YouTube and look for videos of Schiphol in the 1990s, you'll see that they had wide-bodied passenger airplanes in addition to cargo airplanes. I think they even had a passenger 747 at some point. I still definitely remember tri-jets and I think also 767s. Wouldn't be surprised if they had MD-11s. Now the name Martin Air only continues living on through KLM Cargo. This MPS is a unique 747, only one in the world. It's going to Miami, says Maria, so that will be leaving via the Polderbaan then. Oh, absolutely, Paul. Definitely, it's stopped to have a look. I think it's the first time ever that I'm seeing swans so close to Schiphol. Don't think I've ever seen them before in any of the canals ever since I started streaming here. I cannot recall ever having seen swans before here in the canal, and particularly not a couple with young ones. Air Transat is arriving. Let's have a look at it. A321neo. Arriving from Toronto, isn't it? Hope you guys are also able to hear the engines of the MPS. I can hear them already over here. Hans' favorite airline, Vueling, is next to arrive here on Kaagbaan. Vueling flight 1375. Arriving from Alicante. Delta A330neo behind it. Arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. The Mike Papa Sierra, the MPS. Absolutely lovely to see it being pushed, having been pushed back, and pretty soon crossing runway 06. I think it was there for the better part of a week. When we were here on Sunday, I believe it was also still positioned right where it was until just now. So I don't think it has moved ever since. Or did it? Has it flown in the meantime? Surely. I'm not sure. Would be odd, come to think of it, if it had been there all along. Vueling from España. One of the two finalists of the World Championship. Such a shame. The Brits almost had it yesterday. We were cheering for them. Delta Airlines flight 164 up next. Arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. A330neo. Flight time of this flight has been 7 hours and 45 minutes. It's the November 402 Delta X-Ray. 7-year-old machine, first flight May 2019. Sometimes ask if Airbus A330s ever make rougher landings, but that was one. Definitely not as buttery as other A330 landings today have been. MPS is rolling. MPS is rolling and is giving us a long distance headshot. Have a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. What a majestic sight. Right, the next arrival here on the Kaagbaan is pretty far away still, so I wouldn't be surprised if KLM or Martin Air Cargo, I should say, is continuing. It is. Here we go. It's what you guys want, don't you? The MPS crossing the runway. The Emirates A380 is approaching from the southeast, and I think it ought to be visible already. Think this is it. This has to be it. It does, yeah, that big tail tells it all, says it all. This is the Emirates A380, alright. It's pretty far away still. South of the Loosdrechtse Plassen. That's the body of water it just passed by and is to the north of it. Northeast now. Tonebreaker if you're not Dutch. Loosdrechtse Plassen. The water's from Loosdrecht. Gilberto also back in the chat, just in time. Good to see you, mate. Welcome back, hope all is well. Emirates A380, of course, going to the wrong runway, as will the 747 flying on behalf of Emirates Sky Cargo, the Compass Air Cargo. We will be able to see it quite well from here, particularly with the lighting that we have today. It's just the heat wave distortion of the buildings in the foreground that will distort it mostly. More easy to recognize as an A380 now, with the lighting having changed. Tail, of course. Oh. More clearly recognizable as being Emirates. And the airplane is turning a little, turning base. It was on what could be considered a downwind leg until now, and it's now turning base. Emirates Sky Cargo 777 is arriving from Aguadilla. It's coming from the west and should be landing here pretty soon. I wonder if they'll arrive simultaneously. From here at first glance, I wouldn't be surprised if they were. That would be a very nice coincidence if that were to happen. Now, in the meantime, more blue is in the vicinity, and looking towards the tower, it even looks a bit like it is in semi-sunshine over there. Up next, EasyJet with an A319 arriving from Valencia. Vueling with an A320 arriving from Barcelona. And after that, an A321neo from KLM arriving from Edinburgh in Scotland. That's right there. And after that, Emirates Sky Cargo arriving from Aguadilla. And I think the A380 will probably land earlier than the Emirates Sky Cargo triple will. That is still flying base. While the 380 has turned final. Right, the Emirates A380 is on final. Let's turn the camera to it. Here we go. Emirates flight 147 arriving from Dubai. Going to the wrong runway, unfortunately for us. 7 hours and a minute underway. Longer flight time than normally would have been the case. Usually it averages around 6.5. So 7 hours is just a tad more prolonged. The Alpha 6 Echo India is its registration. It is a 13-year-old machine hailing from January 2013. Train incoming. You're thinking, what is he on about? Well, this. Train en cables. Hey Twan, goedemiddag. The sun is shining a bit more brightly here right now, at least where I'm standing, but also where the Emirates is flying by the looks of it. Boom, and then all of a sudden things get clear again. Marked difference. Be able to transition from one Emirates to the next. A380 will be rolling out here in a moment from now, as the Emirates Sky Cargo Triple is approaching behind me. Arriving from Aguadilla. And I can confirm that the sun is now shining a bit more brightly over here. So there's the A380. Having landed safely on the Aalsmeerbaan runway 36 right. In 20 minutes from now, we'll get Compass Air Cargo flying on behalf of Emirates Sky Cargo, arriving from Dubai as well, and that's going to be landing on 36 right as well. That will be the last airplane for me for today, so if you don't have to be anywhere and you're curious about the Compass Air Cargo 747, stick around because there's another 15 or so minutes of plane spotting that we have in store for today. Emirates Sky Cargo arriving from Aguadilla. This is Emirates and not any other carrier flying on behalf of Emirates. I see that Air France is on the glide slope to runway 06 with a Bombardier C-Series 300 and A220. More VWs over here. Quite a few VWs over here, come to think of it. Most of the bird control pickup trucks are Raptors, but Ranger Raptors, but the rest of the vehicles over here at Schiphol are predominantly VWs, come to think of it. Hydration break. So it's converging arrivals for another half hour. Means that right now we have an inbound rush hour with 2 runways open for inbound traffic and only 1 for outbound traffic. When that peak is over, things will reverse and we'll get an outbound rush hour where 2 runways for outbound traffic will be open for a period of time and then only 1 runway will be open for inbound traffic. The 1 runway today staying open all throughout for inbound traffic is this runway, the Kaagbaan, runway 06. Most of you will probably know that by now, but for those of you who are new to the channel or to Schiphol, this is how it works over here. We have 6 runways, 5 big ones, 1 small one for biz jets mostly. And there's almost always 3 runways open during the daytime. It's either 1 inbound, 2 outbound, or the other way around. At night, usually 2 runways are open, 1 for inbound, 1 for outbound. And those are almost always the Kaagbaan, runway 0624, and the Polderbaan, which is 36 left, 18 right. Those are the 2 preferential runways of the airport, and that means that these are supposed to stay open whenever possible. There are exceptions to the rule, of course, whenever there are maintenance works being done, or whenever... Hey, Martin Air Cargo lined up for takeoff. Thank you, Maria. Martin Air Cargo 747. We saw it taxiing away. And... oh, it was going to Miami, wasn't it? Not Luxembourg. Polderbaan departure. Means we'll have to look at this area. This is usually where outbound traffic from Polderbaan emerges from behind the highway and the bushes over there. The A220 of Air France. With that all too familiar whistle. Well, in a moment from now, we'll be seeing the 747 Martin Air Cargo the PHMPS, the Mike Papa Sierra. Somewhere in this field of view, it will emerge from behind either the highway on the left or from behind the bushes that are more in the center and to the right. Trolling, says Maria, so bear with me. It's always interesting to see where they are emerging. The A340 is notoriously late with rotating. Usually appears more to the right, and it's dead center that it's emerging. There you go. Hard to make out the details from such a big distance. Also with all the heat wave distortion, it will probably be a bit easier to recognize as Martin Air when it's initiating its left-hand turn, which it will only do once it has climbed to the north until the point where it crosses the North Sea Canal, the body of water that you see north of Schiphol Airport, that runs from Amsterdam and Markermeer to the North Sea or Gulf of Yorkshire at IJmuiden. Most, if not all, of the standard instrument departures from the Polderbaan begin with a climb out in runway heading before initiating a left-hand turn or a right-hand turn. In the case, of course, of this airplane, which is supposed to be going to Miami to the west, it is initiating a left-hand turn, which it's doing right now. Downside, of course, is now it's even further away than it was when it just took off from the Polderbaan, so it's even harder to make out its Martin Air.